And as always, your views and comments are welcome on the show. Look for us on our social media handles. So join us on TV, on Facebook, and on Twitter. We will be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. We begin today's show with a critical look at some local politics today. Clotekole was that constituency keenly looked at heading into the 2016 presidential and parliamentary elections. We know the outcome. Dr. Zanetto Rawlings from the Rawlings family was able to win the parliamentary seats. But other dynamics came to play. Before we even begin the analysis, let's bring you a short report by Joseph Akable, picking the minds of those who voted on why we saw skirt and blouse predominant in this constituency.
At Mandela Park, that is in Osu, that is still within the Clotekole constituency, like you said. It's pretty interesting. All activities are back to normal here. Some days back when we visited the place during the electioneering period, lots of activities. You have people singing and dancing, lots of deafening music in terms of the campaign songs. Very popular among them, obviously, was that Onaput sound. But this morning, whilst moving through the streets and heading here to the Mandela Park, it's quite calm here. Activities have returned to normal. You have people going about their everyday activities as though nothing happened over the weekend and as well as the earlier part of last week. But this constituency is pretty interesting in the sense that after the declaration of results for the constituency, interestingly, the daughter of former President Jerry John Rawlings emerged victorious for the parliamentary post. But in terms of the presidential, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, who now is the president-elect, beat John Dramani Mahama by some 2,000 votes. So, like in local parlance, they say a skirt and blouse phenomenon took place in this constituency. So all is calm. I'm joined here by two persons who are within the constituency. I'll be engaging them to find out from them what exactly they make of the electoral results, and more importantly, what they expect from not just the president-elect, but also from their parliamentary candidates who they elected going forward in this year election. What's your name?
My name is Henry.
Well, Henry, first let me find out from you, even before the election, for both presidential and parliamentary, who were you expecting to win the polls?
As for me, I was expecting Zenato to win.
How about the presidential?
Presidential, I mean, Nana Akufo-Addo. You know.
Now, someone, this is interesting, Mama V. This is someone who says, who agrees with that, what actually transpired. He says he expected Zanetto to win and also expected Nana Akufo-Addo to also win. Can you help me appreciate why exactly you not like someone from the same party to win for both presidential and parliamentary?
As for me, I don't know what to say much, but as for me, I believe like I know as for Zenato, you have come and do many things for us for a year, you know, but me, I did MPP. Like, I'll vote for Addison, but me, Zenato, you have done many things for our family members, done things for you. So I believe he will do more, you know. That's why I said he will win. And he did too. She did too, Yeah, and she did.
So when the results was declared, where exactly were you when the results was announced?
I was here now. We police station today, yes, so we were here jubilating and things, you know.
You were excited?
Yeah, then the next day we went out, then, you know, celebrating.
This is one gentleman who obviously caused the skirt and blouse phenomenon that we saw here following the declaration of results. But let me come to my left-hand side. There's another lady here I'll be speaking to. I'll be engaging her in tree and I'll be translating alongside. I'll come back to you, Henry. Just hold on for me. First, answer na yebeto abane krampo or constituency and say, you know, now why na o supporting and now where him say obedi nkuni election.
My name says Lato never winning.
Na presidential this way.
John Mama never winning.
Adena now pese anka John Mama and Zaneto omo winning for both parliamentary and presidential.
John Mama no say why nyama bebre. Why nyama bebre nti so I had the end suspect say obe winning.
Well, so I first asked her before the election who she expected to emerge victorious, and she mentioned that for the parliamentary she expected Dr. Zanetto Rawlings to emerge victorious, whilst for the presidential she expected John Dramani Mahama, the outgoing president, to also emerge victorious. I then asked her to enable me understand why exactly she opted for those two, but she made the point that it's because of the achievements of John Dramani Mahama in this constituency, for which reason she wanted those two to emerge victorious. Let me move again to Henry once again. Now the elections is over. I mean, it's done. More importantly, you'll be looking forward to see some changes in your constituency. What do you expect to happen? What do your expectation, not just from your parliamentary candidate, but also from the president-elect?
Like,
what do you expect the president-elect to do for you?
Free education is coming. Means if I get 2 kids, so free education is coming. I'm proud because, you know, I won't be able to pay school fees or, you know, yeah.
Apart from that, what else do you look for? Is there anything in the neighborhood here that you think must be done?
As for anything in the neighborhood, as for that one, the parliamentary will take off it. They have many things here to do. The gutters, the intimacy, if you go to the seaside, you'll see many things, many rubbish and things. First, Zoom Lion used to come and clean, but I can see they are not working no more. You have to come and do all of that, so our community will look clean.
Interestingly, you said you expect the parliamentary candidates to do that. That is your parliamentary MP elect. In the event after 4 years, you still have your gutters, your drainage system in that poor condition. Will you be voting for her again?
I mean, if like she's not doing her responsibilities, I won't be able to vote again. We want our neighborhood to be clean for us, so that.
Well, so interesting thoughts there coming from Henry. Henry says he has high expectations of Dr. Zanetta Rawlings, but he expects her to deal with the sanitation issues around here, and if she fails to do that, she's not likely to get his vote in the next general election. Miss Hembra Ohobium, problems Ben and move face here to see Amatua Bamo before Flora be winning for parliamentary and office of president, the Sakufa de winning. Yama Ben Ocean so be your Mantim Hamamu. Like problems Ben and move face here, Moshe say be able to solve our problems.
Oh, yeah, facing problem, baby. She got an mosquito. Tontro honey na why adia bebre ti efesi ni adia bebre pe se omuye maye se so to a so no kokko mekoma tumi
we rank for them
kokko nipa tumi wo mekoma tumi ni wo ya mi to ake ba sani asabi e bi egbefa sana asabi da ke gota ne ke gbefe ni mo ke ne beto ma tumi ke ni bi fe wa sana akwe na sa ni bi senator ke sa osukro le klote sa e bi e bomode si jo mama na ba fe election e ba osukrote e ba ne ba fe rally e bi ene wo ayele mi na ke e ba mi se me ne ba ayele Akufa Robedin, make a catch my sister with Akufa Robedin. Enti, Wayaniama Bebre, Bashudia share, Yadinu.
Well, so the point she made was the fact that she had some expectations in terms of the president-elect and the parliamentary candidates. More importantly, she expects the issues of sanitation, just similar to those thoughts shared by Henry. Also, the drainage system, he wants it to put in good condition. And she makes the point that even before the election, she had a sense of the fact that President John Dramani Mahama will not emerge victorious in this constituency. She mentions that he feels the president didn't campaign enough here in the constituency, but that notwithstanding, she still has high expectations of the new government and expects a lot of things to be done in the constituency here. So this is the situation here at the Mandela Park here in Osu Klote constituency here.
So that's Joseph Akablay with our report from the Klote constituency. Let's begin to pick the minds of those who did the campaigning on the ground in the constituency. Joining us in the studio this afternoon is Elijah Liu Kabi, the Vice Chair of the Klote NPP. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll also be joined by an executive of the NDC in the constituency to help us appreciate what went into their work and the results they got at the end of the day. Let me begin with you, Elijah Kabi. So this will not be the first time we're having a conversation about this election, but this time is after the results were declared. Klote, your party did not win the parliamentary seat, but you were able to clinch the votes for Nana Akufo-Addo. What happened?
Thank you very much, and I think many thanks to Ghanaians who voted for change. And I do appreciate that, and people appreciate that we are going to deliver the mandate that they have asked or imposed on us. Klote, Lawyer Philip Addison is saying he thanks everybody, despite losing. He thinks he has fought well, and that he thanks them very much. Moving forward into the dynamics of the constituency, in fact, this goes down to the thinking and the minds of the constituents. That is where I see the problem is, because we have internal problem. Our primaries was that of this thing I say many long, prolonged agitations here and there. It took us 1 year to settle on the primary elections. Because of those things, I think we have a problem. And fortunately for us, NDC,
before you move on to even the NDC, the first point you make about your party having issues.
Yes,
We know the matter was resolved. You clearly had your candidates with what, 6 to 8 months clear to the elections.
Yes.
So some will say maybe we should not buy that excuse because you had equal time to prepare.
I accept and I believe in what you say, because leadership is responsibility is here. But I am saying that the electorate there, their understanding is different from what we, the executives or managers of the constituency, think. Example is our people who are our supporters and our sympathizers in the constituency, and even some constituency police station executives did not find it important or obligatory for them to work for the party no matter the circumstances. They believe they have their choice, and their choice, the turnaround was not for him, and that they have a problem with that. And that issue, they prolong it up to the election day. So is the supporters, so are the sympathizers. As you can see, Addison had 29,000 plus, and another having the 5,000 people. You can imagine and say that clearly they have issue with what transpired in the constituency per our primaries, because they don't like the NDC, they like the MPP. So for them, for Nanado, they need a change. But definitely our style of parliamentary primaries this time around did not go down well with them.
Okay.
They were thinking otherwise, that somebody maybe was not treated fairly, and somebody to think that, oh, then let me vote for Nana and then wait for them. Let them fight. Both Ninoy and Addison, let them fight. But as for Nana, I'll vote for him. That is what went. Because if you look at the number of Ninoy and Nortey, then you can see that people are yearning for the party MPP. But the 5,000 margin will tell you that they neither voted for Ninoy nor Philip Addison. That means that apathy from what transpired, that is the wrangling in there. So they took advantage of it, and then per their misunderstanding of the issues of the ground, that Nana needs more parliamentarians and clever ones like lawyer Philip Addison to help him deliver, you understand, in terms of parliamentary approval of his issues.
But if the explanation you just gave is anything to go by, it means that for you, the constituency executives for the MPP, you did a poor job in selling the resolution of this matter within your party to your polling agents, to your supporters. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree.
Why don't you agree?
We have had several meetings with them. We have had several talks with them. We have gone out house to house, office to office, door to door, talking to people, explaining issues, explaining the dynamics of spectrum.
But did your actions show? Speaking is one thing, but did your actions show that the matter had been truly resolved for them to actually believe in what you're telling them?
Yes, they saw Nanado in our constituency 3 or 4 times.
How many times did they see Philip Addison in the constituency?
Philip Addison, severally. I went round with him, severally. I told you we were out there, doing house to house, moving, meeting with the other groups, like the mechanics, the hairdresser association, the barbering association, and other groups in the constituency, the Squahu association. He met several people.
Do you concede that you had a problem on your hands with Ninoy Nortey and his support base? What did you do to win his support base to get the votes required to win the seat?
As constituency, we did our best.
What did you do?
By telling Ninoy that after the second round, Ninoy, look, you're a party man, you're a young man. See, the future is bright. Even though you may not feel well, maybe you're not treated well, please, let's look into the future so that it will be better for you. Because we believe that indeed we are winning this election. Indeed, if Nanado comes, I think he will not leave you behind, because you have to play a human role in helping us to get a united front. This disunity has really affected us very much. Yes, because people are thinking, as I told you, that this boy was cheated. So please, and somebody don't think that, oh, this person came in, he bulldozed his way because he's powerful, and that is, so that is the thinking. Do you
also believe in that thinking?
Not at all.
To be very honest, Alaji.
Not at all.
You don't believe so?
Not at all.
So if you don't believe it, what did you do to convince those people who are supporters of your party to understand that that was not the situation?
Unfortunately, the level of thinking varies from area to area.
Are you belittling the thinking of those who support you?
I'm not belittling. I'm saying the thinking. Because I'm saying, look at the margin, 5,000 plus. Think that Nanado should be their president. Meanwhile, they did not vote for Ninoy, nor Addison. So you can imagine the thinking that if Nanodo have not emerged as the winner overall, then what will be their case here? You understand? We've lost all. So please.
But if you look at the numbers for the parliamentary, and shortly we'll show you the numbers so you begin to appreciate what I'm saying. If you put together Ninoy and Nortey's figures and that of Philip Addison, it was well overweighing that of Zanetto. Was that not true?
Not at all. It's not. It is not. Still, Zanetto will have won with some 600 margin.
600 votes?
Yes, yes.
600 votes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you see how close that was?
Yes, I see.
Do you see it?
This is
okay, so granted that argument does not even hold, what then are you doing now to repair the disunity within your party so it does not degenerate into the next election?
We've learned our lessons, and I think we have paid dearly for it. We cherish and dearly will have had the seat. This is the third time we are losing, and you know how painful it is to be. And if you have a great person in the person of the lawyer Philip Addison, and you miss this chance, I think it is not helpful. I think Nanado will like such caliber of persons to help him move his governance into the sky. I believe going forward, the party must step his foot on the ground very well.
Alhaji Kabi, before the elections, there were people in your party, bigwigs in fact, who said that the choice of Philip Addison was an unpopular one. And in fact, if the MPP had maintained Ninoy Nortey, you could have either given Zanetto a good run for her money or even beating her to it, considering the kind of support base that he had in the constituency.
It could have been so.
You agree?
It could have
you
been
agree?
So. It could have been so. It could have been so.
So why then do you still look to the future maintaining that Philip Addison should be? Why not think of Ninoy Nortey?
We are not, I didn't so say that we have to maintain Philip Addison. I'm thinking to future, we have to stamp our foot on the ground very well. In taking decisions, we must consider all angles of the decision. And
was that what you didn't do in this case?
I think we hurriedly sometimes do something. And I believe that Philip Addison fought legitimately. You know, he went to the appeals committee, went to the court, and then he had his case. You understand? That's why I say he fought gallantly. Ninoy too fought gallantly. You understand? The party's thinking is that once the court has given some ruling, we have to adhere because we are a party of rule of law, and Ghana is governed by rule of law. So we believe that as that is our mistake or not, it has another thing to discuss another time. I'm saying that our party going forward should think about these issues again when it comes, because going into elections, having one and then changing it and then having another one sometimes bring these things up. And I think it's very difficult for the people on the ground, the electorate, in fact, mixture as they are in their level of thinking, for them to follow you. We did our best. We follow them. We explain to them, look, if you want Nana, then this is Nana's candidate. If you want Nana to bring you that this one factory, then this is the person who helped him to roll up those laws. I think we have made our case out there, and I think the electorate have decided.
Okay. Now, how about the moving along? You speak of the disunity in the party being one of the factors for which you could not win this. What are you doing to mend that fence? Are you going to bring Ninoy back into your party?
Not yet. We have to go over the elections.
What's the difference?
Post-election, we have to think about post-election, what happened, what went very well, have a comprehensive report, sit down, think about it, and then moving into the future, the party, national region will think about these things as we go along.
So you think it's too early to bring Ninoy back?
It's too early. It's too early.
Too early?
It's too early to bring these issues up. It's too early. It's too early.
Some will say that it's never too early in politics, because if you bring him in now, you gain the goodwill between now and 2020. I'm
saying to you, it's too early. We are in politics. Somebody has contested and has lost, and early enough you are going to say you are bringing this. You understand? So you have to think of the dynamics, and then we are working together. They are all party people. Is that not it? So we think we have to be careful. We have to give time for these issues to heal by themselves, or we have to come in.
Alhaji Kabe, you remember I told you something, that if you add the votes of Philip Addison and Ninoy, you could have beaten Zanetto. You say that's not true?
Yes, Ninoy had 3,911.
Ninoy had 1,379. Addison had 3,694. Zanetto had 5,070. In fact, if you do the maths, if the two of them were together as one unit to contest Zanetto, you could have beaten the woman by just 3 votes.
I'm saying to you, our mathematics, it didn't give us that permutation that we have done. maybe you were wrong, maybe you were also wrong. But I'm saying to you that as much as I'm saying, the disunity affected us. Overall, it affected us. Because people were just don't know what to do on the election day even.
That is to implicitly say
that some people approach you.
A lot of people in your party love you. And that's the question I'm asking.
People approach
How do you draw that love back into your party?
If you go to the Osu area, you see people coming, Alaji, parliament, no more okay. Even 2 weeks to election, people asking these questions. And you come down here, where is popularity, I can, Alaji na, why not Deniko? So you see these things playing role in your defeat if you don't take time. You need to explain to them, you need to carry them along. Yes, sir, it has come to pass. I believe we have learned our lessons. And going forward, we will see how we work around that thing.
Okay, looking ahead into the next 4 years, that you would have to do some work to, as it were, prepare for the next election. How are you going to ensure that the promises, even before we go to that, what promises did you make to the electorate in the constituency, especially in getting Nana Akufo-Addo to win in that constituency? What promises did you make? What local promises did you make?
Well, we tell them it varies from area to area. When you go to Osu, they have their own peculiar issues.
Okay, so what promises did you make? Just walk us through them.
One is the fisher folks, their inputs, their nets, their machines, and the price. You understand? And their welfare. And then 2 is the this thing, land issue. Land issue. You know,
what promises did you make for the fishing people?
We told them if we can, we will discuss the land issue with them. If we can, we won't take a decision. We will discuss it before we take a decision. We will not gazette it in the paper before they hear. We will call them to a meeting and then tell them the reasons why and the better option that the land will be used for, that will help everybody in that community before we take a decision.
And then for the fishing folks?
We told them that yes, we will be able to bring down the management of the country down to the level of everybody's understanding and then everybody's pocket, and that bringing down the what do you call the machines, their outboard this thing motor that they use, the fishing nets and whatnot, and we'll tell them that we will again improve upon the cold stores that are being built across the day so that they can have a storage and do not lose much in case of bumper harvest. We told them that. And the land will talk about that issue. And then we'll talk about education. And we put it to them that they have to understand the issue of education. If they don't partake in education and they think dropping out and going to the sea for fishing alone is their job, then they are not doing the right thing for the future of their children.
So now you've won. How are you going to implement it in your constituency?
And I had a meeting with them, the whole fisher folks, from Tema down to Ablekuma West, and that he has put his programs before them, and they have accepted that. I think that is why he won. And I'm saying to you, you see the Kosata, we won the Kosala, excluding these 3 constituencies, Ablekuma South, my constituency, and that of this state. Kro also, so we lost that. So that's how it is. But I'm saying to you that right away, the Ga in the Greater Accra understand and appreciate that Nanado, in fact, indeed, is one of them, because he's one. Now they have to realize that presently the lies and deceit that is going out there, his wife is born and bred and come from Osu, and she's one of them. Okay. And that Nanado was born and bred from Gamami, and he's one of them. And they believe that his has the better alternative in terms of good governance and delivery. And they saw the massive corruption, Gargantua as such. They saw the lies and deceit through their faith. And they saw it.
Okay. Alhaji Kabi, tell me something. Is it easy for your executives to celebrate this win, considering that you did not win the parliamentary seat?
No, it is easy, because overall we have the country, and we are going to put in measures that will help Ghanaians across the country. We are happy.
How is Philip Addison taking this? We had
a thank you float last Sunday. I wish your cameras were there. You could have seen it. Marvelous.
A thank you float for losing the parliamentary seat.
Yes, thanking them.
But winning the presidential.
Yes, thanking them. He came second, and 29,000 votes is not a joke. You understand where we are coming from, and the disunity and disagreement and misunderstanding that is in there still we're making. And then still we're able to push the agenda from our leader very well, that the constituency bought them. So we have done well.
What would you say to those who say under your watch as vice chair for the constituency and all your executives, yes, you may have done well in winning the seat for the president, but you failed in dealing with the disunity in the party. They should get you out. How would you respond to that? You should be voted out.
As a leader, I take responsibility. I am not going to shred this and say give an excuses. I believe we could have done more or better than this. But I also tell you that, you know, human institutions, your understanding, I'm thinking about understanding of the party and party stand sometimes, you know, the way we understand it. You know, I believe I am working for the party. I really have to work for the party and party only. But with some, it is not like that. They follow the personalities. That is the problem we have. They follow, once my person or my candidate is not in the race, and by means that for me, okay, I will not put my maximum support.
Alhaji Kabi, quick answer in this corner and be very honest with me. Take off your hat as vice chair of the MPP for the constituency for just a moment. If you look at this election on hindsight, was it wrong to let Philip Addison contest?
Per our constitution of our party.
No, as you are Kabi.
I'm saying to you that that answer remains with the result and the party at large.
You can't answer that.
I can't.
It's difficult for you.
I leave it to the constituency.
It's difficult for you to answer that.
The party.
Is it difficult for you to answer because you know that if Nino had contested for you for the MPP, you will have won it?
I wouldn't know what would be the outcome. I wouldn't know. But during the primary, you know, everybody knows I was supporting Nino. That one I will not shy away from it because that's my thinking that he is a candidate who can win the seat. But it will come to pass is another issue. I think we have the machinery. I think we have the gap to fight every time, anytime, any day to win a seat in any constituency in this country, just like that of Clotekwale.
There's some of the people in your party, executives, work against Philip Addison.
Not necessarily, but the attitude was like Addison. Not necessarily out there, but like Addison, because they were not pushing all the world that we are all pushing.
Okay. So, what's the future for Nino now?
It's his personal distance.
Will the party go for him?
I'm saying to you, not now.
Not now.
It's early.
But you have plans of bringing him back?
It's too early.
It's too early to call him back. But do you have a plan to bring him back?
I'm saying it's too early.
To even think about it?
It's too early, yes. It's too early. Per our constitution, Nino is just not a party member now. Per our constitution. You know that.
What does he have to do to come back?
It have to take both.
Both sides?
Both sides, yes.
So even if he walks into your office today and say, guys, I'm sorry, take me back. I really want to come back and work for the MPP. You will say, not now. It's
up to the party. But even I'm thinking this is not the issue now. It's too early for us to discuss this thing. Who comes or who goes? No. We have to think of why we lost the parliamentary seat. We have to think what we did wrong, what we did that is good, and going forward, what we have to do. So that is what we want to focus on immediately after the inauguration of the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. We sit down and then
after the inauguration. Yes, okay. I'm sure after the inauguration we'll come back to you and get some answers. But thank you for coming today, Alhaji Kabi.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure speaking to you here on the show. He is the vice chair for the MPP in the Clotekwale constituency. We were able to speak to the constituency chairman for the NDC. We are unable to reach him on the lines, but we are beginning to understand one of the reasons for which we are not getting him. We're learning that the party, the NDC, is in a meeting today as a result of news they're getting that one of the executives has died in a road accident today in Accra.